Buterevu nkwaniriza nate ku Focus TV erinyaze ade Wilberforce kimwe muyanja and of course kulusako program hizinjawo nagamba nti buli mawulire agabaga guddeo tugakuleetera awo wennyini woli nobeera ng'ogalaba ng'omanya biki ebigenda maaso mu ggwanga lyattu Uganda. Olwaliro President Mbozi wakati wa yaita threats eziri wakati wa General Muhoozi Kayire Lugaba onono CDF w'eggwanga lyattu Uganda wa UPDF ngeri wamu ne Ibrahim Traore wa Burkina Faso. Ibrahim Traore ono tugirye nti ye president atwala ssaawa zino Burkina Faso. So twagala tulabe threats zaabwe bana babiri ziringa zituuse ku ki era ki ekigenda maaso okubeera nga biro binawe ebiri. Mujjukire nti Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu okuva bamuwangula okuva balangira nti bamuwangudde mu 15 January yagenda mu kwekweka oba okuzibwawo nabanga takyalabika. Alabikako mu mirundi gumu ebiri lwabasiimye okulabikako eri abantu ng'akwata mu vidiyo bw'ateeka ku mitimbagano. So kino kyalatinga abantu bangi nnyo okulaba nga bajja mu maaso n'okulaba embeera eno kyabwe etambula. Omukulu yavuddeyo n'asekerera General Muhoozi n'agamba nti okola tweets ezinsautinga oba tweets ezirumba foreigners kyabutiitiizi era kyabuswavu nnyo kulaba okola tweets ezirumba ate kumenyi n'ozideletinga. So ebyo byonna byavudde ku kubeera nti no gavumenti evudde neetegeeza nti Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu temwetaaga so ng'ate baminisita oba CDF yena avayo n'agamba tumunoonya. Allegations ezo zonna biki ebigenda maaso mu ggwanga lyattu Uganda. Omukulu Ibrahim Traore yazze okuttaanyaako biro. Katulabe video tuva ku Focus TV nze ade.
Principles, what happens? They apologize, they delete their posts, they bow down. And my brothers and sisters, this is precisely what Muhoozi did. And I want you to understand every single detail of what happened, because it tells us everything we need to know. So here's what went down in Uganda. General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, who is not just any military officer, but the son of President Yoweri Museveni, decided to make some very bold statements. Now you need to understand who this man is first. This is the army chief of Uganda. This is the man who many people believe will be the next president after his father. This is someone who has significant power, who commands the military, who has the ear of the president because he is literally the president's son. And this man loves social media. He loves going on X, which used to be called Twitter, and making all kinds of statements, threatening people, attacking his perceived enemies, and basically waging wars from behind a keyboard. On this particular day, Muhoozi decided to go after Bobi Wine, the opposition leader who has been giving the Museveni government serious headaches. Now Bobi Wine is a young man, a musician turned politician, who has captured the hearts of many young Ugandans. He represents change. He represents a new generation that is tired of the old ways, tired of the same people holding power for 30, 40 years. And naturally people like Muhoozi see Bobi Wine as a threat to their dynasty, to their plan of keeping power within the family. So what did Muhoozi do? He went on social media and made a very serious accusation. He claimed that Bobi Wine had kidnapped himself and gone missing. And listen to this part carefully, my brothers and sisters, because this is where it gets interesting. Muhoozi said that according to their intelligence, Bobi Wine did all of this in coordination with the current administration at the United States Embassy in Uganda. Can you imagine? He accused the American Embassy of helping Bobi Wine to disappear. And then, as if that wasn't enough, he announced that because of this situation, the Uganda People's Defense Forces, the UPDF, was suspending all cooperation with the current administration at the U.S. Embassy in Kampala. Now let me pause here for a moment. When I read this, I thought to myself, finally an African leader is standing up and saying enough is enough. Finally someone is telling these foreign powers that we won't accept their interference in our affairs. Because let's be honest, my brothers and sisters, the Americans and other Western powers have been meddling in African affairs for decades. They support whoever serves their interests. They destabilize governments that don't bow to them. They fund opposition groups when it suits them. So when I first heard about Muhoozi's statement, part of me wanted to believe that maybe, just maybe, this was a moment of genuine African assertion. But then, my brothers and sisters, then came the reality check. And this is where the story becomes both sad and instructive for all of us who care about Africa's future. Muhoozi didn't stop with just that one post. No, he went further. He issued what he called a warning, to any foreign power that might be thinking of helping Bobi Wine. He said, and I'm paraphrasing here, that any foreign country that attempts to smuggle Bobi Wine out of Uganda would be creating a serious rupture in relations with Uganda. He was drawing a line in the sand, or so it seemed. He was telling the world that Uganda would not tolerate foreign interference, that they would not allow external powers to protect their political opponents. My brothers and sisters, these are strong words. These are the kinds of words that make headlines. These are the statements that get shared across social media, that get people talking and debating. And for about 1 hour, maybe Muhoozi felt like a strong man, like someone who had stood up to the mighty United States of America and told them where to get off. But you know what happened next? Something that I believe every African needs to see and understand. But within 1 hour, just 60 minutes after posting those bold statements, Muhoozi deleted everything. Every single post disappeared. And then came what I can only describe as a humiliating apology. Muhoozi posted a new message, and I want you to listen to what he said, because this is the heart of the matter. He said he wanted to apologize to their great friends, the United States, for his earlier tweets, which he had now deleted. He claimed that he was being fed wrong information. He said he had spoken with the U.S. ambassador to Uganda, and everything was okay now. And then the part that really tells you everything. He said they were going to continue their military cooperation as usual. My brothers and sisters, do you see what happened here? Do you understand what this represents? In the span of 1 hour, we went from bold declarations of sovereignty to a complete surrender. We went from accusations of foreign interference to calling America our great friends. We went from suspending cooperation to promising that everything would continue as usual. Now Muhoozi wants us to believe that he was fed wrong information. He wants us to think that this was just an honest mistake, that bad intelligence led him to make those accusations. But my brothers and sisters, let me ask you something. If you are the army chief of a country, if you are the son of the president, if you have access to the best intelligence services your nation can provide, don't you think you would verify your information before making such serious international accusations? Don't you think you would be absolutely certain before accusing a foreign embassy of harboring your political opponent and then suspending military cooperation with one of the world's most powerful nations? The truth, my brothers and sisters, is much simpler and much more painful. Muhoozi got a phone call. Somebody from the American embassy, or perhaps from Washington itself, made it very clear to him that there would be consequences for his statements. Maybe they threatened to cut military aid. Maybe they threatened to impose sanctions. Maybe they reminded him of all the ways that America supports the Museveni regime. Whatever was said in that conversation, it was enough to make Muhoozi completely reverse his position within an hour. And this, my brothers and sisters, is what I want you to understand. This is the reality of many of our African leaders. They talk tough when it's convenient. They wave flags and speak about sovereignty when they're addressing their own people. But when the real powers that control them make a phone call, they fold immediately. They apologize. They delete their posts. They go back to being obedient servants of the very systems they pretend to oppose. Now let me give you some context about this Muhoozi character, because his behavior is not new. This pattern of posting inflammatory things on social media and then retracting them has happened before. In the past, his own father, President Museveni, has had to apologize to Kenya because Muhoozi tweeted something suggesting that Uganda could capture Nairobi. Can you imagine threatening to invade a neighboring country on Twitter? And then his uncle General Salim Saleh had to apologize to the European Union because of other controversial tweets from Muhoozi. So this is who we're dealing with. This is a man who apparently has so little self-control, so little understanding of diplomacy and international relations, that he regularly causes diplomatic incidents through his social media posts. And yet, this is the man who many believe will be the next president of Uganda. This is the man who is being groomed to take over from his father and continue the dynasty. My brothers and sisters, while all this drama was unfolding on social media, there's a real human being at the center of this story, and that's Bobi Wine. This young man has been in hiding because he fears for his life. He has accused President Museveni of rigging the elections, which were marked by an internet shutdown, while the opposition was either pushed aside or silenced completely. During the election campaign, Bobi Wine even said he would welcome intervention from America, similar to how the United States went after Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. Now, I don't necessarily agree with Bobi Wine calling for American intervention. We cannot solve African problems by inviting foreign powers to interfere. But I understand his desperation. When you have a government that shuts down the internet, that attacks opposition leaders, that rigs elections, that uses the military to intimidate citizens. What options do you have? Bobi Wine himself said that any assistance that comes their way is helpful, but that assistance should not be to take over their country. He said the responsibility to liberate Uganda, to govern it, and to move it forward lies entirely with the people of Uganda. And you know what? Despite being in hiding, despite fearing for his life, Bobi Wine has been actively posting on social media, responding to Muhoozi's threats. When Muhoozi said he would catch him dead or alive, Bobi Wine's response was simple: catch me if you can. It's like a cat and mouse game playing out on social media while real lives and real freedom hang in the balance. There was even an incident where military forces raided Bobi Wine's home and allegedly assaulted his wife Barbie. Muhoozi has denied this, of course. But the accusations are out there. This is the level of intimidation we're talking about.
Kusubscribinga Focus TV. Binji